modified version of yesterday's workout. Yesterday we used ropes and some other things, but I modified the workout so that those of you at home could still do the Tabata leg day that we did yesterday. So you'll set your Tabata timer for 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, and it'll be a total of 72 rounds. We will do each move 8 times before you go on to the next one. So you'll complete that move completely. You don't have to go back to it or think about it again. We'll complete it and then move on to the next one. So your very first leg exercise would just be alternating lunges. So reversing it, ooh, don't fall over like I just did. Reversing that lunge, driving the knee down, alternating, making sure you keep that back up straight, and alternate it out. If you want, you can add some weight to that to make it a little bit more challenging, but it's just 20 seconds of work, 10-second rest. And then we have our power knee. Again, you can add some weight to this if you want to challenge yourself, driving that knee across the body. We did step down yesterday, so if you have something you can step off of at the house, you can do a step down, standing on that box, leaning back, stepping down into that hip to challenge that single leg. And then we have staggered stance squats with a kickback. So if you have a mini band, you can add that mini band. It'll just make it a little more challenging. That band will go around the ankles, like so. And you'll take a staggered, a staggered stance. So one leg is slightly in front of the other, and that foot is popped on the toe and hinged, okay? And you're just gonna squat like a regular squat, sending those hips down and back. Then you're gonna stand and squeeze, then lift that staggered leg. So down to your squat, up, lifting that leg, nice and controlled. All right, so making sure that that band is not whipping your leg back down. You wanna control it up and down. You'll do 4 on one side, 4 on the other. So if you wanna challenge yourself, you can do all 4 on one side before you go to the other side. And then we have a wall sit with a calf raise. I'm just gonna leave that band on my foot because we're gonna need it in a minute. So you'll go to your wall, adding some weight to make it a little bit more challenging, sitting down on that wall, core is tight, shoulders are back, and you're just lifting and lowering those up on those toes. Okay, you can go both at one time, or you can go 1 foot at a time. If you need to, take that toe raise out and just sit here on the wall for that 20 seconds. Then after that, we have in and out squats. So yesterday we used the TRX. We challenged ourselves to stay low. Even though you may not have TRX at home, you can still do this. It's just a regular in and out, but we're gonna stay low that entire 20 seconds. So booties down and back, staying low, jumping it out and in, and staying low. If you need to, you can step it out to stay low, or just hold that squat, okay? So that's the goal though, is to stay low that entire time. Then we have sumo squats. So here you're gonna grab your dumbbell, plate, kettlebell, whatever weight you have at home, or you can do body weight if you need to. Wide stance for that squat. Toes are slightly out, so not super wide, but just slightly turned out for balance. And you're driving those hips down and back. Then stand and squeeze, making sure that that weight is not tipping your body forward. You want to sink straight down and straight up. Then you have kettlebell or dumbbell swings. If you have a kettlebell, you can use that. If not, using a dumbbell works. Hinging those hips, squeezing those cheeks, making sure that you do not allow your shoulders to roll when you go forward. So you don't want to be like this. You want to flatten that body out, sending those hips back. Then we have glute bridges with an abduction. So again, if you have a band, you do want to add that here, okay? This time it's going to go up above the knees. So we're going to get into that band. It's going to go up above the knees. Then we're going to come down to the floor for our hip bridge. More of a challenge. If you have something at home you can put your feet up on, a couch, coffee table, chair, something of that nature, it makes it a little more challenging. But you want to be on those heels, laying all the way down on the floor. The closer those heels are to the butt, the more work you're going to get. Lifting those hips up, then opening the legs against that resistance, closing, and bringing those hips down, but not letting your butt hit the floor. So up, open, close, down. Making sure you really get a good hip bridge, really flex those cheeks before you open and close those bands. And then finally, everyone's favorite, we have 8 straight rounds of burpees, okay? So if you're at home and you need to modify, you can use a couch, a chair, ottoman, something of that nature to draw you up off the floor, but just make sure it's stable. And you want to do 8 straight rounds. So our goal every time we do 20 seconds of burpees is to at least get 6 per 20 seconds. Okay, if you can get more, by all means, push yourself, get a few more. I think yesterday we were doing 10 or 11, so bust them out, get them done, y'all. But again, this is Tabata's 20 seconds of work, 10-second rest, times 72 on your timer. So it's a little shorter than we normally do because we accounted for cleaning across the way. But since we're ending with 8 straight of burpees, I think that's sufficient with the 72 round.